would, here, bro, here's some money. Go to the skate park.
Nice, dude. So do you have any
Yeah.
cool Larry Wilcox stories? I mean, did you meet him a lot, or was it like just like you met him one time, he put you on the team, and that was the only time you ever met him? Did you hang out with him?
I met him a couple times, but me and my dad and my mom, we were more familiar with Tom and Patty, which ran the Wilcox team.
Okay.
Yeah.
And for those out there that don't know, Larry Wilcox had his own BMX apparel at one point, right?
Yeah. Wilcox Action Line.
And
it was me and Bobby Encinas that raced for him.
Wow.
And I believe at the War of the Stars at Azusa, when Larry Wilcox broke his collarbone, Bobby Encinas did what are they called? Like a BMX clinic?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, that before the race that day.
My phone's gonna die. That's why I'm doing this. So, hey, I thought he broke his leg. It was his collarbone?
Yeah, he broke his collarbone, I believe.
Oh, wow. I've been telling everybody for years that I was there when Larry Wilcox broke his leg, but I'm sorry, everybody, it's his collarbone.
Yeah, and it was funny because I never heard of Scorpion bikes, but he was riding a black Scorpion bike when he crashed.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. So, yeah. Do you remember who else was there that weekend? It was War of the Stars. I think it was
that robot guy. Remember with the I forget his name. It was a robot.
Robot. I remember Justine Bateman, her brother, were there.
Yeah.
And everybody was trying to get close to Justine Bateman. But I don't remember anybody else being there. But that was the time I made the main. I had to race a couple of guys from Newhall Rally.
Yeah.
And Tim Testa, who joined the team like 2 weeks before that, which I was always pissed off about that. And there was two main bikes riders in the main and a bunch of guys from Newhall Rally. But I don't remember any factory dudes at that War of the Stars. And that was the best star I ever got in my life. And I came out of the gate and I snapped my cranks in half. And I went over the bars and got all jacked up. I got 8th. And years later, I found out that Tim Testa got 7th. And you know Tim Testa, right?
Yeah.
So you guys, have you ever had the conversation about the War of the Stars?
No, we never have. Like we just touch bases, through Facebook. Facebook's a wonderful thing, I've gotten in contact with many people that I raced, and raced with.
I heard a story about Tim Testa sending his bike over the first turn into the parking lot at NBL. Does this sound familiar to you?
He might have. People did crazy things back then.
I heard somebody took him out one time where he was going too fast. He went over the first turn.
Maybe.
Bike flew into the parking lot and hit a car or something like that. That's what I heard. I don't know.
Maybe it could have happened.
I only raced him one time, but
yeah.
I don't know where he went after main bikes, if he stayed on main bikes or not. But that was one of my last races that I can remember was the War of the Stars.
At Azusa?
In Azusa. Yeah, I was the only. You're talking about all these factory doodads on your bikes and that type of thing. I was running like a Takagi 180s, Shimano DX pedals, and ball bearing bottom brackets. And I was always too cheap to pay for 3-piece cranks. And I guess I paid my price that one race where I broke my cranks in half. People don't believe. There's no way you broke a pair of Takagi cranks out of the gate. I go, dude, yeah. There has to be video of it somewhere. It was over expert, and I've seen. I Googled that race a couple times on YouTube, and I find every race on there, every pro main, every expert main, except for the 17 over main. So it's like, oh man,
maybe I think the kid's name is Brad Johnson or Brian Johnson. He's on my Facebook. His dad did a lot of video recording back then. Okay. Maybe you could ask him.
Okay.
He rode for Elf.
Okay. Elf.
Yeah.
Elf. I always wondered about that. That's extra light frames. Is that what it stood for?
Oh, I couldn't even tell you.
That's what I heard. Like, I was like, Elf. Okay. I remember Elf. Yeah.
But I don't know.
You mentioned muscle power. Muscle power was not. It was a like you put it in milk or something like that? That was the deal?
Yeah, it was like a, like a protein powder thing that you drank. And then they had another drink that was part of it too. It was called XL1. It was like Gatorade, but supposedly better or whatever, And then now that we're older and we have health problems and stuff, I go and I look at some of the sugar and the sodium on like a bottle of Gatorade. And I'm like, Jesus Christ. And we drink that stuff by the gallon.
So were you like, every time you won a race, you had to get up there on the podium and pour your muscle milk?
No, it wasn't like that. But I mean, Hank was a very cool guy. He helped a lot of people in racing. Later on, in as far as with muscle power,
Right.
I mean, I don't think there was anybody that was just specifically factory muscle power. I don't think. Maybe one or two, but every major pro, you see them with either a Ralph's bicycle sticker on their number plate or a muscle power stick, patch on their jersey.
Right. Right.
So
weapons of choice, dude. What frames did you have, and what was your favorite?
I had the JMC Micro Mini, the JMC Mini, the JMC XL. I love those. I loved my Daryl Young. Let's see, what other bikes have I had? I always liked the SE Assassin. That was a cool bike.
Okay, all right.
But that's about it,
So, what was your? I would assume that it would have been the JMC Mini that was your favorite, probably, right?
Yeah.
So the Mini. Okay, so this jogs something in my memory. The movie.
Uncommon Valor.
Okay, was it you that told me whose bike that was in the movie, or was it somebody else?
I don't know, but I know that my bike was supposed to be on there or whatever, but in the movie, it's actually Ray Mendoza's bike, Ray Mendoza Jr.'s bike.
Okay, I thought it was Kevin Keller's bike, no?
No.
Ray Mendoza.
That's right. Yeah, Kevin Keller never, to my knowledge, never had a bike, a JMC with a black uni seat and black grips and black stickers.
Okay, so Ray Mendoza
Jr.
was his bike, but for some reason he couldn't make the shoot or something like that, so there was another kid they brought in to act like it was his bike. Do I have it right?
I don't know the specific details. Some maybe like Tim Ebbett and some of the Randy Robertson, maybe some of the guys that were there that day could probably answer it better for you. I don't want to say it and it not be right, But I do know that Ron House was there, Bubba Hayes was there. There was a lot of people there. But it was a great thing because a lot of the local kids that would have never got to experience that in life got to experience it, like we had to go to our school. We had to get they had to send us a packet of work. So we had to spend so many hours inside the Moose Lodge in the back room, supposedly doing our homework. You know what I mean? It was cool.
Was it filmed on a race day, or did you guys come in on an off day and shoot that? Or not you, but did they come in on an off day? Do you know? Or was it filmed?
I think it was an off day. It was during the week.
Okay.
Yeah. I do remember that because we had to go to our schools with a note, for us that were like in elementary school, junior high. We had to go with the note to get work for 2 days because we would be out of school,
Nice.
But yeah, it was cool.
For those of you that are watching, if you know who the actual kids were that were in the scene, comment or say something online when I post the video. For some reason, the name Kevin Keller pops up. That maybe he was, I don't know, but I was.
Yeah.
But anyway.
I know the kid in the CW uniform, Jason Palmisi. The kid that's wearing the uniform, that's not Jason Palmisi, I don't think.
Okay.
Yeah, I do know that.
Okay, so so it's not Jason Palmisi.
No, but
someone else.
He's wearing Jason Palmisi's CW uniform.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Maybe that's what I was thinking about. I don't know. Yeah, that was.
Yeah.
Every time I watch that, every time I watch that movie back in the day, I'm like, oh man, why can't I have been there? That was probably before I even started racing, I think.
That was before you. That was like mid-era of US BMX.
I started in '83. I don't know when that was filmed.
Maybe '84.
Oh, so maybe I was around. I don't know, but
Yeah.
that was always a cool story that I always like to tell.
You know that the Monrovia track, right? That they filmed an episode of Chips there.
Is that the infamous Jag episode,
Yeah.
or is that another?
Yeah, I think so.
That was filmed in Monrovia?
I think so. I mean, that was like, I was real little, you know, but from what I understand, it was filmed there at Monrovia BMX.
Bitchin', dude. I had
Crazy.
no idea.
Yeah.
Who was on? Was Anthony Sewell in that? I think wasn't Anthony Sewell in that episode?
I couldn't tell you. I couldn't name none of the people that even rode for Jag.
Oh,
Except Brian Dorsey rode for Jock's Jag, I think, at one point.
Yeah. That's true.
Yeah.
Nice, dude. So in closing, before we bore everybody to death, I'm just kidding out there. Before we start close this thing down and we move on, what race stands out? What's your proudest accomplishment? What's your what race you look back and say that was the epitome of Billy Bullwinkle weeks, man? Do you have one?
I would have to say probably 83 or 84 when I had High Points champion NBL, and they made a flyer at the local US BMX, and you know, and it said that I held more points probably than anybody in the world, you know, at my age group, and you know, it was cool.
That's bitching, man. I don't have anything like that. I get my highlight was my actual low light when I broke my cranks at coming out of the gate at the War of the Stars.
Yeah.
I looked to my left, no one was there. I looked to my right, no one was there. I'm all, I got it. And all of a sudden, snap, over the bars, done. But when I got on main bikes, when the team owner, my brother was already on the team, and I wanted to be on the team so bad. And he goes, well, you got to be expert to get on the team. So we went up to Barstow in '84 for a triple pointer. And did you ever race Barstow?
Yeah.
That stupid S turn, I remember.
Yeah.
And I won 17 or 16 intermediate, and I made expert. And driving home with Keija, he drove me up there, driving home with Keija, and he throws me the jersey and goes, there you go, now shut up and leave me alone. You're on the team. So that was one of my, that was probably my crowning achievement in my BMX career. Yeah. So it must have been very cool to have more than one sponsor and different people, because the more sponsors you have, the more people you get to know and the more things you get to know, because sometimes, like, talking to guys like yourself that are local, that aren't necessarily Hall of Fame or factory guys, sometimes I have a better conversation with them because no one really knows their story, right? Like, there's no one, you don't have your own Wikipedia page. I don't have my own Wikipedia page. So we can talk about stuff and learn new facts, things that happen that that no one even knows about. Yeah. So that's what I like talking to guys like yourself. So that's why I appreciate you coming on talking.
No, I appreciate you. I'm honored to be, you know, on your podcast. It's actually really cool, you know. Yeah. And like, you know, now with the whole bike thing, you know, like, a friend of mine that he's actually kind of like a brother to me and a brother to Andy Patterson, you know, they have a bicycle ride up in the high desert called High Desert Cruisers, and they ride, you know, his name's Rick Ramirez, and those guys, man, they go all out, you know, and it's not necessarily BMX, but it's bike life, you know, like, you could just get on and ride, you know, and it's cool.
What do they ride? Like Big Rippers or something?
Oh, everybody rides Big Rippers or Bassets or, you know, Johnny True Torches, or, you know, they're all into the 29ers. Some guys ride 26s. Some people ride e-bikes. Some people, you know, just it's kind of like the original days of BMX. Run what you brung. Like there's no set, bike for the ride. I actually did the ride on my 24-inch cruiser.
So before we leave, I got to ask you the question, man. Are you going to be at Dirtyfest?
I will be at Dirtyfest all day Saturday with my wife, my cousin, and we'll have a blast. Come see me.
All right, yeah, we got to hook up and we'll do.
Yeah.
Are you going to bring your JMC?
Probably.
Oh, that would be sick, dude.
I'll bring the micro mini. The mini. Yeah.
Nice, dude. We'll do a shout out for Dirtyfest. For those of you that know about Dirtyfest, it's going to be happening at the end of the month, 28th, 29th, and 30th, in at Vail Lake in Temecula, California. A bunch of old school BMX riders are going to come out. There's going to be a swap meet. There's going to be a bike show, and there's going to be bike races. And for you those out there, I'm pulling out my 95 Powerlite, and I put some tough wheels on it. And I'm going to try to get down the mountain without crashing. After we finish this video, after I edit some stuff up and post it, I've already got plans to go to the Menifee Bike Park and go to the pump track and try to get my bike handling skills down, because I'm worried that I'm definitely gonna crash, and I can't afford to miss work very often.
Yeah, it's a whole new monster. That's why I enjoy just going on the bike life rides. We don't heal up as good as we used to.
I'm telling you, man, I can agree with that.
It's funny, back then we didn't have bills to pay.
Yeah.
Back when we raced, now we have bills to pay. So if we get hurt riding a bicycle, well, hey, those bills aren't going to pay themselves.
Yeah. So if anybody wants any information on Dirtyfest, you can find it at www.dirtyfest.com. And that's Eric Carter, Mike Miranda. They're out there. They're handling that for charity for John Cruz, I believe.
Yeah.
So thanks for Billy. I appreciate the time, bud. And
can I give a couple of shout outs too?
Absolutely. Shout out whoever you want, dude.
So my favorite pros when I raced BMX, who I idolized, was Andy Patterson and Clint Miller. They were local pros, world champions, always humble, always willing to give a young kid advice. Just great mentors in the sport of BMX. I also want to give a shout out to Frank's Bicycles in Downey for keeping the bike life movement going and keeping everybody's bike going. My great friend Rick Ramirez and Chopper that run the High Desert Cruisers for keeping the bike life going. And most of all, Andy Patterson, and most of all, my beautiful wife for making everything happen and allowing me to keep my passion alive for riding bicycles.
Dude, you are a gentleman and a scholar, and you are much I like to do my shout out too. I would like to thank my wife for letting me buy BMX bikes.
Yeah, for letting us spend money on stupid stuff.
Wife, dude.
Yeah, it's like, oh, you buy a bike part, all of a sudden 10 boxes of shoes from Amazon showed up. You only spent $9 on a pair of grips. Well, they spent $400 on shoes.
Dude, you don't understand. I bought that damn Daryl Young out of Pennsylvania for $4,500, and my wife's like, "What did you do?" I'm all, "Trust me, it's okay. I'll make the money back." So yeah, you are a much smarter man than I am because you thanked your wife, Teresa, my lovely wife. Thank you very much for letting me buy BMX bikes and letting a middle-aged man still follow his passion and not give me any hard time. Thank you very much.
And when I always post on Facebook, like with Andy and Rick, when I went on the ride with them, we're just a bunch of big kids having fun, and we're big kids because if we didn't have a wife that is basically a second mom to us, keeping us going, I mean, it's
totally. I can relate, man. I can relate. So we'll see you at Dirtyfest on Saturday. I'll be there Saturday.
Sir.
I'll be trying to race. And once again, I appreciate it, everybody out there. You just heard and listened to Billy Bullwinkle Weeks of Stories. And if you would like to come on the podcast, you don't have to be a Hall of Famer. Of course, if you are a Hall of Famer, that's fine too. But you don't have to be a Hall of Famer. You don't have to be famous. You just have to be infamous, like Billy. Billy, I appreciate it, man. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Kevin.
This is the BMX Experts. Excuse me. I messed that up. This is the BMX Experts podcast. My name's Kevin Wilson. I'm the BMX Hunter. Thank you so much, everybody, for coming by and watching our videos. I appreciate it. Billy, you're a good man. We'll see you at the end of the month, bro.
Okay, brother. And thank you for keeping, bicycles alive with the BMX Hunters.
I'm trying, man. I'm trying.
Well, definitely.
People mad.
Well,
thank you very much, Billy.
All right, Kevin.
All right, everybody.
Thank you for your time, buddy.
All right, peace out.